In this video, we are going to quickly go through the group 11 words. So let's do that. So the first word is abhor, which means to strongly dislike something. Maybe you abhor, I don't know, a certain type of food or an activity. Boisterous means lively, rowdy, maybe a little bit noisy. Think about a party. Think about like a frat party at a university or something. Chivalrous means gentlemanly, good behavior, polite, treating people in a civilized manner. It's kind of the mythologized way that knights used to act in medieval times, even though the truth was probably far from that reality. Churlish means kind of rude behavior. It describes rude behavior. Maybe you say things you shouldn't. Maybe you act kind of like a brute, for example. Clandestine, think about spy movies, spycraft, keeping things secret, kind of like MI6 or James Bond. Complacent means you are smug, you're self-satisfied. You're so content with your life that you never try to do anything to improve yourself. So even though this means you are content, it has a very negative connotation. Cumbersome means unwieldy, heavy, burdensome. Think about like bureaucracy, for example. Debilitating means it weakens you, it hurts you, it causes damage. Deliberate has two meanings. So the first meaning, the verb deliberate, means to think deeply. Deliberate, the adjective, means intentional, to do something on purpose. Droll, now this one's a confusing one because you might think it's a negative word. It actually means humorous. So try not to confuse this word with dull. It's very easy to do that. Eccentric means weird, odd, quirky, strange. Fractious can mean kind of like there's a division, there's a divide, difficult to unite, difficult to control, that kind of thing. Limpid, again, another one of these things that you might assume has a negative connotation. It doesn't. Limpid means clear or transparent. I know it doesn't look like that, but it does, like a limpid lake, for example. Mawkish, again, something you might confuse. It means sentimental, cloying, overly sentimental, overly emotional. Think about like a Lifetime movie, for example. Obeisance means respect. So if you pay obeisance to somebody, you're paying them respect, something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down here. All right, let's get the rest of them in here. Ostentatious is going to mean showy, to show off your money. Think about like a French palace from the 17th century. Panacea means a cure-all, something that solves all of our problems. Panacea, it almost exists in theory, not in reality. Perfunctory means careless or token or superficial. So if you do something in a perfunctory manner, you're not really putting a lot of effort there. Perilous can mean dangerous, potential to cause harm, a perilous climb, a perilous process, something like that. Pervasive means that something has pervaded everywhere. So pervasive means it's common, it has spread throughout the room. Think about like a really bad fart or something. Preclude means to prevent something. So if you preclude something from happening, you stop it, or at least you hamper it or inhibit it to a great degree. A predilection means you have a tendency to do something, a likeness, a fondness for something. Maybe you have a predilection for ice cream or something. Rapacious, I think, is actually quite easy. It means greedy. I always kind of think of it as someone like kind of going after the earth or like digging into the earth, something like that. So rapacious, kind of like the way we use the earth's resources, for example. Relish is not a condiment you put on a hot dog. If you relish something, you really enjoy it, you savor it. Something you might relish a good movie, for example. Satirical, think about, Saturday Night Live. Think about Key and Peele, those kind of TV shows where they use satire, jokes, farce to make fun of society, make fun of its rules, stuff like that. Sham is going to mean fake or false. Think about like a sham Louis Vuitton bag or something. Skirt is not the clothing item. What it is a verb, which means to avoid something. So if you skirt the problem, you go around it. Sluggish means, think about a slug, a very slow, moving very slowly. Spartan does not refer to the Spartan warrior in the sense of warlike, but in the sense of they don't need anything. They can deprive themselves of luxury. They live very simple lives. And then finally, truculent does mean aggressive or warlike.